What's up, everybody? We got UFC Fight Night here from Macau, China. 13 bouts, coming off 8-3 run. Your boy P. Welsh here. UFC picks, previews, predictions coming at you. Starting off in the UFC lightweight division, Mahashete, 10-3, coming off a win, standing 6 foot against Nicolas Mota, 14-5, 5'9", coming off a win. I believe a decision win. Mahashete coming in here as the favorite. We're going to start off with Mota, though. 10 wins by KO, 4 by losses. Wins against Nolan, losses against Miller and Torres in the UFC. I mean, and I kind of like this Mahashete. I think he's going to have the reach advantage for sure. I think he's going to have the volume. I feel like Mota kind of relies on that big power capability. You kind of seen that with some of these Brazilian bombers, right? And I think he always has that opportunity to get in there, close the distance. He is got a very nice reach at 70.5 inches, standing 5'9". So, like I've been saying recently, if these shorter guys get in the pocket and they're exchanging, they got the length advantage in the arms. They can get over the top a lot easier than these taller guys with a slight reach advantage. That's something that I really could see Mota doing some getting in there, but I just think Mahashete, if he just throws volume, leg kicks, jabs, makes him just hits him with combos, I think he should have a real clear path to victory here. I just think Mota's got one of those hittable chins that you can just do damage to it slightly over time or all at once. And I think against somebody like Mahashete, there's a reason that they start these cards off with certain somebodies each and every week. So I think he'll have a good opportunity to really get a nice win. I mean, he actually did finish Steve Garcia, one of his only losses on recently. He does have some KO losses this other way, so he's going to put it on the line against Borshev. But I mean, I think Mota's live for a KO here. I think this fight ends in a finish. But I like Mahashete there. Lean in there. I think he's just going to do it. Get the job done. We're going to move along here to the bantamweight division. A lot of guys, not too much to go on, but we're going to do our best here, ladies and gentlemen. We got Zhao Long, 26-8, coming off a loss, 5'8", against Kwang Lee, 8'1", in the bantamweight division here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, this one, let's see. We got on the odds here. We got pretty much even here. We got Lee at plus 100, Long versus Chow at minus 120. Man, 26-8 at 26 years old. A lot of MMA experience there. Was slight favorite. Got submission game for Xiao. Going in there with 9 submission wins. Been to the decision a lot of time in the octagon. Not afraid they're going to scrap it out. And Lee here, 8-1 in the bantamweight division's pretty balanced overall. 0-1 in the UFC. Lost to Chris Gutierrez, which is, to make your debut against Chris Gutierrez is pretty tough. So he has a chance to go in there and face a lot of work. I kind of see a similar opponent to him there in Xiao. Like, seems like this, he's going to have a lot of experience, going to be very well balanced, and we're going to see what he has to do. Lee seems like he gets the better of some worse fighters, and let's see what some guys that go to, the next division up. I'm going to go Xiao here. I think that's just a more consensus pick with Octagon time versus experience. A lot of people are picking Lee on the actual pick'ems, and it's a very close one. I can't wait to see what some of these shake out to. We got a super early card, too. I think it's like a 6 a.m. Eastern start on Saturday. Sheesh! So look out there, ladies and gentlemen. Should be an exciting one. Can't wait. But I like Long here. I think it's going to be one of those well-balanced approach. He can work some of the submissions. He's going to work the striking, look to get the better of the advantage, look more comfortable. And if Lee can only do so many, I just feel Lee might only have so many combinations in the repertoire. But I think that's I'm going Zhao there. Should be exciting though. Let's see if Lee can catch him, because Zhao has been finished. And Lee definitely has a finish on his record, and I think he can even go from damage to submission, to a ground and pound, to a club and sub. Both are live for Lee against Long. We're going to have to see how the speed and the combos hold up over the 3 rounds, but going Xiao Long there, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on, let's go to the flyweight. Lenore Kavanaugh versus Jose Ochoa. I mean, Kavanaugh's a big favorite here, ladies and gentlemen, and that's where I'm leaning. 7-0 flyweight from the UK versus Jose Ochoa, 7-0 Latin America. Probably some KO, 5 KO finishes in the lightweight division is pretty nice. Wonder how his sub game is. I don't know how much it's going to get tested here, but I also think there's chance that just Kavanaugh walks right through this guy, does a lot of damage, and I don't know much about Jose Ochoa, but there's a reason why Kavanaugh's a big favorite, and it seems like he's got some hands on the Contender Series coming in there exciting. I'm just going to lean. I don't know much about Ochoa either. You know, he's 7-0 himself. Beat Pantoja's brother. He's on the LFA. I don't know how the competition's here. I don't know really how the competition's been for Kavanaugh over time. You know, we're trying to check it out. Like I said, I'm leaning Kavanaugh here. He's got 5-0 UK. He's on the Contender Series. Cage Warriors. So there's always a lot of potential. I see the hype. I mean, usually if there's a big, highly touted prospect, that'll just happen. You know, from that area, they tend to come through over time. I'll take Kavanaugh. Big favorite. Keep it short and sweet. Throw the hands, kid. Moving on. Ooh, this one should be exciting too. Another flyweight bite here. We got Turmanbelli versus Carlos Hernandez. Turmanbelli, man, the Mongolian versus Carlos Hernandez. I think this is ripe. I don't know how Hernandez is a big favorite here. I'm not on the Hernandez train. He just really hasn't showed me much. So he's going to go all the way across the world fight against the Mongolian on homeland. I think this is matchmakers know what they're doing, know what they're getting involved here. So I like Turmanberdel. I wish I could probably say his first name a little bit easier, but I just think I'm just not. I mean, this is really a lot of a fate of Carlos Hernandez. Like, unless this guy Mario Batistas and holds him against the cage, and this guy can't do nothing, but this cat ain't 45-year-old Jose Aldo, right? Hernandez coming off a couple losses, 3 out of 4. His wins, Almontrato, he's out of the UFC. Like, who has he beat? Nobody. Gives me no belief. Big underdog, I'm going with that guy in his part of the world. Flyweight, 8-0. See what he can do. 5 submissions in his career. I mean, I could just see him just overwhelming Hernandez with speed, athleticism, gets him in some crazy kind of posture. The thing about the flyweights is a lot of times they can sub from the guy standing up, so they can literally hook him in as he's standing up. This cat, I don't really know if that's in his game, but you could see a freaking flyweight work to submission as the guy's holding him up, because like 125 can easily hold your body weight up, and they can just work like that. So kind of reimagine Oliveira and Chandler from last week, add Turmanbelli in there, and him just actually finishing the sub. Because Hernandez will probably try and go down or something and fling him off. I don't know. I'm not on the Hernandez. There's no way. He's such a favorite. I don't know how. I don't know how experience, but yeah. I got Turmanbelli getting the win. Moving on. Women's strawweight division. We got Ming versus Fang. Let's go. This got a Fang all over it. Big favorite Fang against Shin Ming. I think both ladies making their debut. This is not the time for the UFC's website that you really want to be going at. All right, let's close it up and open it. Probably can't open up them. So we're just going with Ming versus Fang here. Fang's a massive favorite. 10-2 versus 16-5. 11 in the PFP rankings in China against 62. 115. And they got Fang here, 4 KO wins, 5 decisions, and it looks like she's just, alpha female in there. I think she'll take care of business against Ming. She's 16-5, pretty well-rounded. A lot of decisions, KOs, submissions, but she seems to lack that firepower, that explosiveness that Fang is shown in her career against her competition. She's 20 bouts, 30 years old, a lot of training in there. I definitely think Ming is going to hold up on her own. I think this one definitely does go to the scorecard. I'm not sure if Fang gets the finish, but I definitely can see Fang doing the damage to just kind of get in there. She's 22 years old. I think the athleticism will be there. It just seems that she has more of an opportunity to be more well-rounded, even if she's has a lot more finishes recently, even in her whole career. And I don't think she's too afraid of going to the scorecard. She's been there a lot of times. Ming doesn't really seem like she threatens a ground game too much. So she has a little bit, but I don't know if she'll be that effective. We'll see. I think this will start on his feet, and I think she'll be able to hold her own if she gets taken down, but that's where I think her ground game probably excels more. Is I just don't think she'll be able to use it to her advantage. That's Ming against Fang. So I think Fang will definitely dominate position and posture and really get the better of her. And I think she'll just out damage her in a way. I just think I don't know, man. They train really hard in China, so I think Fang's got a great chance. There's a reason she's a big favorite. Let's move along, ladies and gentlemen. Another flyweight bout here. We got Kiru Shing Shatoa versus Dong Chung Choi. Flyweight division here. We got, let's see, Choi 8-0 versus Shatoa 12-2 flyweights. Shatoa coming in here and out of the UK against the Korean Choi, 29 years old, and KO potential from the flyweight division you don't often see. But, he's probably against going some lower end competition. We'll see what happens when he goes against Choi. Pretty much as veteran as, I don't want to say as veteran as you can get in the UFC. I'm trying to remember what he has. He's just got to the UFC. But 8-0, 25 years old. I don't know. This one should be a pretty close one. I think they're pretty close. Minus 125, plus 105. This one fight can definitely go either way. Both guys, I think, making UFC debuts. I was thinking of a different Choi or something. Maybe he's later in the fight. I'll try and remember, but I digress. My bad, tangent. But flyweight division here, let's see what we got. I think this one could be pretty, I don't want to say boring. I don't know much about the fighters. They both got to put it on the line here. Great records. Highly touted. It's the tournament championship for each division here. So that's what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. So we got the flyweight division champion from the, what is this, the Contender Series? Road to the UFC. That's what it is. Road to the UFC. So these should all be pretty much bangers. I'm excited. I think they got 3 championships here, starting with the one just before us. I got Fang here. I mean, Choi seems like he can get the job done, but something about Satoa seems like this one could get pretty back and forth. I think this one's going to be an absolute scrap fest. And I could see it going either way. I guess if I have to pick somebody, I'm just going to pick Choi. Maybe just believe in the I don't even know, man. This one's definitely one of the biggest toss-ups on the card for me. Go back, watch the Road to the UFC. I'm just going to kind of use what the people are kind of helping me out with and just go with Choi here. Kind of, a little bit of a shot of the dark. I think Sahota has a chance to, actually get submissions and grapple slightly better if he does damage and can get into a better position, which we see, quite often. After that, then that should be a great one. Let's just move on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the bantamweight division here. We got Jalisi versus Sung Young Yu. Road to the UFC championship for the bantamweight division here. And 28 years old, the Korean Yu. Coming off a couple unanimous decision wins. I like Jalisi here. I think he's got opportunity. I think he's got more finish power. When you're going against these lower end guys, like, you definitely want to be finishing them. You don't want to be going to the. I always think, like, when you're going to the judges' scorecard, a lot of times you can, really, you're just very evenly matched, right? And that's why I think sometimes the better fighters have tougher time finishing the other better fighters because they're both tough sons of guns and they're very evenly matched. This is kind of the same thing here. There tends to be finishes, emphatic entrances to the UFC. I like that. If I think that's going to happen, I'm going to go with Jalisi here. I think I got a little bit more than you. I think his grappling's a little bit better. We'll see what happens here, ladies and gentlemen. You coming in there. Got a lot of submission wins himself, so, like, don't count him out. ground and pounds, club and subs, arm triangles. We'll see what happens here. Again, when these guys coming in there, they're so tight. We're getting into some actual guys that have a lot of UFC experience coming up in the next fight. Just gonna take Jalisi here, see what happens. These should be exciting fights. Again, take what I'm saying with these, especially with a grain of salt. These guys are so hard to really prep, and the matchups when they get into the octagon, the cage shuts. We'll see what happens. I'm going with Jalisi here. We pick every fight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on. We got light heavyweight bout here. Starting with the main card, Zhang Ming Yang, 17-6, 6'4", against Ozzy. No relation to Nate and Nick Diaz. Making his debut. Bro, I like Ming Yang here. He crushed my guy Ribeiro in his debut. I think they've been saving him for this. I think he's gonna make it a big explosive finish again. Zhang Ming Yang, easy peasy lemon squeezy. I think they're kind of giving him a little bit of a bunny here too. Ozzy Diaz 9-2, coming out of California. A lot of KO potential is gonna stand in there and freaking bang. So Ming Yang looked really crisp, really fast. He was it was pretty much an even fight the first time, and I expect much of the same to come in here again. Ming Yang now minus 310 after that performance. Dude, he looked really fast, the clean combo and the power. He looked pretty composed with the leg kicks and handling everything. I mean, it was 90 seconds of a fight. There wasn't much to go in on there. Ozzy Diaz, really is making his UFC debut here. A little Bellator, a little, so a little experience, not been in the toughest competition. And I think Ming Yang is a beast. So I might talk longer than the fight again. This might be another 2-minute finish for Ming Yang. I think that would be a nice spicy one. I just think he's clean, he's active, he's aggressive, he was locked in, and Ribero's not a bad competitor, and he just flushed him in 90 seconds. Let's go, baby. Another light heavyweight fight. I love this matchup. We got Volkan Oezdemir, 20-7, coming off a win versus Carlos Ulberg, 11-1, coming off a few wins. He's on a nice run, I believe. 6'2" versus 6'4", a little bit of a 2-inch reach advantage and the height advantage for Ulberg here, coming in as a big favorite. And bro, I like Oezdemir here. Give me the big dog. I think Oezdemir is on one of these like late career runs. He's only 35, not as old as you think. Ulberg, he's definitely high impact, high velocity, but he's also, I don't think really he might not have the gas tank to deal with somebody like Oezdemir, who, if you think about it, fought DC for a belt. Dude, that tread in the tire, that adds up over time, man. Ulberg really hasn't fought good competition at all. Pateria, Dung Young-woo, Menefield, like Zinchekwu, he's fought fluffers. Oezdemir's a certified grizzled veteran. I think Oezdemir is big time favorite in my opinion. I think he could finish Ulberg. I think Ulberg can get hit, take some damage. He'll work the body, work the legs pretty good. My guy Oezdemir is thick. He is grizzled. This is a glaze fest for Oezdemir against Ulberg, and I think anybody that likes a big underdog and some potential knockouts. Lost to Krylov is the last blemish on Oezdemir's record. Ulberg, it's been a while, but again, he's kind of active, but not really. He has a lot of rescheduled bouts in the last year. I don't really know. It's been a really crazy year for Ulberg, and and Oezdemir, I feel like has kind of been locked in. There's something about 5 rescheduled bouts, over the course of, and granted, like Jamal Hill's pulled here, Reyes, Menefield, Smith, like it's just what's kind of going on. I always kind of, I'm a little worried. As on the contrary, like he punched Menefield. I don't even know what happened. Menefield, bro. I'm Atomic Alonzo. We're done. Pulled your cards a lot years ago. We're off the train. But like again, Ulberg coming in there, starts him in 15 seconds. I wasn't surprised. I picked Ulberg there. I'm picking Oezdemir here, bro. I just think he's got 13 KOs, 2 subs. He can do a lot of damage. He's been a couple first-round finishes recently. Oh, his losses are to some actual crazy guys too. After that Cormier lost to Smith and Reyes in the 20 teens, those are those guys' primes. And I think he's got a lot more training. Lost to Prohaska, Ankalaev, Krylov against decision, but I think he's got a lot of confidence. I think he's got a lot of belief, and I think he knows he's a big time force in this lightweight division. He's gonna want to call out Poatan after another finish, and I think that's what gets the job done. I'm really on the Volkan Oezdemir train. I love him as a big dog here. I think the bookmakers got this one hella wrong. Um, I love Carlos Olberg, but I don't love him in this matchup. I think there's other matchups, and I think he could get a little exposed here if he takes some damage. Like that's another thing is like we haven't really seen Olberg take damage like Oezdemir can deal. We've seen Oezdemir take damage, right? I think that's what big time. Let's go women's flyweight. We're going back to the tournament. No, hold on. We're going to the main card here. Kong Wang against Gabriel Fernandez. 6-0 Wang versus 9-3 Fernandez. Very similar in the metrics, a little bit of a reach advantage. This seems like a Wang spot all day from what I can gather in pre-fight analysis and go for. She has one UFC finish in 1 minute. Was that the recent one? Best knockout of the year? I think it was the 1 minute. That was in August. I think I remember that was the first fight of the card. I think this chick is gonna knock her out again, man. She looks special. No lie. I think Wang looks special. Nothing against Fernandez here. She's a big underdog. And I think she's fighting against a potential title contender here. I think she's 32 years old, got the experience and still a lot of the explosiveness. I can't see 1-2 in the UFC going to decisions, not really fighting anybody too stellar. I mean, she did beat Jazz Dervicius, but I mean, you never know how some cuts are, some weights are. She hasn't got a finish in a while. I think Wang here again by first round could be explosive finish for Wang. I like that too. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to the men's welterweight division. Song Keenan versus Muslim Slakovov, 21-8 coming off a win versus Slakovov, 20-5 coming off a win. And boy, oh boy, I'm kind of going back and forth here, back and forth. I really don't know how I can get onto the Song train here for the pick. Just very average, some bad losses. You never want to lose to Kevin Jesuit. Ricky Glenn win, beat Bedoya, who's really not that good. He really can't stand and strike. My thing about, it just seems like he's just going to punch and stand there. Can Slakovov do the damage? I think he can to win the decision. I think it kind of suits somebody like him to come out early, win, and then see if Song can come back late. Slakovov is 40 years old. It's again, I think I'm going to pick Slakovov here. I think he's a slight favorite, and he's pretty much a moderate favorite by the books. I think he's going to come out early and look very good. And it's just what can Song rally with? What can he do in the second and third rounds? Because I don't think Slakovov has the gas tank, and he can definitely get overwhelmed faster. It's like how fast can Song empty Slakovov's gas tank to then just win the fight, right? Because I don't think either of them have a finish in them like that. I don't think it's going to be one of those that's highly contested. So it's just, does it happen later than sooner? I don't know, man. It's one of those. It's King of Kung Fu, Muslim Slakovov. He doesn't tend to, man, tire out so fast. I'm just trying to think, like, Dalby's a dog, and I can kind of see Song being like Dalby, where he wears him out and gets him going faster than the other guy, right? Does some damage and really can't control the fight in the way that he wants to. But Dalby is really explosive. Is he as explosive as Song is? Potentially at times. But I also don't think he presents an overwhelming swarm that Dalby can put on over the course of times to gas you out, right? I'm not sure if Song, I think this fight might be a little bit slower of a pace. I'm just trying to predict the pace of this fight in a way, and I don't think Song is going to push it, and that's what I think is going to favor Slakovov, right? He has been pushed around by guys who will, just... I'm going Slakovov here. I just think he'll have the pace. I think he'll look better for 2 rounds. Song might turn it on in the third, look to get the finish, look to do some more damage, but I can definitely see split decision. I can definitely see a very close fight. I'm going Slakovov here just in terms of, I think he's the one that's going to control the pace of the fight better, right? If Song was somebody that was going to push the fate, have like a clear, kind of not be so mirror to their opponent, I would say he has an advantage, right? If he was like pure volume, pure wrestling, pure try and gain an advantage some way. But to me, in his experience, he's just been very much a mirror of the opponent, and I think he's just going to be a worse version and get a worse of the exchanges here. Very close fight, very interesting matchup. I like Slaklavov here in the welterweight division. You can definitely give him a good prospect. You know, call out Prates. I don't know, man. He could get somebody, you know, that he can get a chance against. That'd be murder, though. But I like Slaklavov here. Let's move on to the co-main event, ladies and gentlemen. We got Yan Xiaonan, 18-4, coming off a loss versus Tabitha Ricci, 11-2, coming off a win. Boy, oh boy, what a nice matchup for the co-main event here. We go Ricci here, 11-2, coming off a win against Angela Hill. Tisha Pennington lost to Lupi, wins against Jillian. So on good form here, but Yan, former title contender. I think super well-rounded boxer. Has some blemishes on her record. Was really kind of thrown into some of those into her last fight. I think she's going to look really good here. I can't see her not fighting since the title fight in April and not looking really good. I'm a big Yan fan, and I think like I said, there's always levels to these games, and Wei Li Zhang is way ahead of Yan, and I think Yan is also like that, not that far ahead of Tabitha Ricci. I think it'll be very competitive, but I think she's a clear favorite. I like her to come and prevail through the fight. I think she'll win with volume and damage. She's only minus 198. I really like, honestly, Yan and Yan is a good, I like them together. I think that's what I'm going to be picking here. The little spoiler alert, but Yan Xiaonan against Tabitha Ricci, I think it's pretty competitive, but I think the length, the volume, the strength, and the damage is going to be on Yan. I think she takes the fight. I think she could get a finish and reclaim herself, maybe with another big fight before another rematch. I don't know, because, right, I don't even know what's happening in some of these in the women's divisions, right? I don't know if Wei Li even has a title fight scheduled. I don't know what's going on, so I like Yan here. Let's move on to the main event. We got another Yan, Piotr Yan against Davison Figueiredo. What a matchup here. We got Piotr Yan, 17-5, coming off a win against Yang Sedong. Figueiredo, 24-3, coming off a win against Chito Vera. Boy, oh boy, what's going to happen here? I mean, I like Piotr Yan here. I think he's actually probably one of the best bantamweights in the world. I think Figueiredo is no slouch here, but my thing that comes with Figueiredo is, man, he's such a gangster, dude. He's so big. He's so tough. But I think he's a little long in the tooth. He's 36 years old, has a lot of fights, a lot of rounds, and a lot of minutes there. I think he's going to be really tough, a big hitter, but I think Jan's went up against big hitters, and I think Yan is just purely a better fighter. Stand-up, grappling, striking. I think there's you hold the bantamweight championship for a reason. He's 31 years old. I think he's looking to reclaim it. Arguably, if you take the O'Malley fight out of it, right? I mean, Yan has only lost and fought to fighters that have held the bantamweight belt, right? He lost to Marab, held the belt. Lost to O'Malley, held the belt. Lost to Sterling, held the belt. So I'm not just remembering those. I think this is a big Piotr Yan spot. I think he's a huge favorite, and I think he's going to reclaim why he's one of the best bantamweights in the world. I think he'll call out anybody, Sandman, dude. I think Piotr Yan is primed for a run here. I really do. I mean, I don't know if he'll fight the Sandman. He'll fight Umar, fight Chito Vera. He can fight anybody that he wishes and call out anybody after he wins. I think coming off an injury, the way he trains, I'm such a big fan of Piotr Yan. This is nothing against Figueiredo, but I think Figueiredo at times lacks that cutting edge. I mean, the thing is, right, realistically, he's a flyweight fighting at bantamweight when Piotr Yan's pretty much the most pure bantamweight you're ever going to fight at 5'7". And is this tough, man. I think Figueiredo can win. This is not like I think this is the easiest fight in the entire world. This is just, I'm a big Piotr Yan fan, and I think he really, if you take what even his lost performances into consideration, and I just think it's a tough matchup. I think they kind of eased my guy. I mean, Figueiredo has a nice transition to the bantamweight division. The Robbie Font, Kobe Garbrandt, Marlon Chito Vera, and now Piotr Yan. This is a gangster fight, man. This is This is not for the faint of hearts. I could definitely see this going 5 rounds and the judges making a decision on this scorecard. To me, this is basically a title fight. These guys have the credentials of a title fight, and boy, oh boy, I like Piotr Yan over 5 rounds, dude. That's just really what I like. I think if you really wanted to kind of pick a little bit, you can say Figueiredo has had more vulnerability in those 5-round fights. He hasn't fought 5 rounds at bantamweight. His last 5 rounds, all against Moreno. A couple of them were losses, so a draw and 1 win. So not exactly the best resume in 5-round fights. It's been a while. He's 36 years old, and you know how those Brazilians, he's probably more like 38, 39, Figueiredo. I like Yan here big time. We'll do a quick little recap here. It's a very extensive video. A lot of unknowns, a lot of discoveries that we're going to have here, but we're going to start off with I like Mahachete going in there. We're going to go Chow Long, Kavanaugh, Turman Merbelli, Fang. We're going to go Choi. I think we went Choi and Gillespie here. Ming Yang, Uzdemir, Wang, Slaklavov, Yan, and Yan. Thank you if you made it this far. Please subscribe, like, comment, make your predictions in the comments. 100% correct prediction gets $100 on me. Thank you so much for the support. Take care of yourselves, take care of your family, and peace and love, everybody.